Hi, it's JamesAnimalHarrison. I'm back with Thursday Thoughts. Today I'm going to talk about an early drum influence of mine. I was actually, somebody had sent me a thing asking about the pictures behind me. So Steve Smith, one of my favorite drummers, is over here. Chuck Simon's my first drum teacher. There's a picture of Ringo there. And just because I really like that picture, he's on here twice. But Buddy Rich is over there. You can't see him right now. Another one you can't see is Gene Krupa here, John Bonham directly behind me, and again Ringo over here. And I'm not going to add more pictures, but I thought about replacing a couple of them, and I started thinking about some of my early drum influences, and this also came up. The thought of this person came up because Nate Morton, who's the drummer on The Voice. Again, another drumming hero of mine, a great guy, had made a post on Facebook a week or so ago asking about, am I the only one that loves playing ballads? And it got me thinking about this. And actually, I love playing what I call power ballads, the rock ballads. That's why Steve Smith is one of my favorites as well. But one of the early influences on playing those kind of rock ballads was a drummer, Nigel Olsson, who was a drummer for Elton John. And I can remember listening to the radio when I was young and listening to stuff like Goodbye Yellow Brick Road and Tiny Dancer and some of the tunes that were ballads. But the one that just floored me the most was Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me. I just feel like it's perfectly played drum part. The space between the notes he has on his fills creates so much tension. And I actually feel like, I mean, I don't know this, but I would feel like Steve Smith had to have listened to Nigel Olsson because so much of the stuff that you hear on the early Journey ballads are similar to what Nigel Olsson played. And then through a high school friend of mine named Terry McConnell, she was an Elton John, a huge Elton John fan, and she would always play stuff, and as we hung out, I started buying more and more of the Elton John albums. My favorite album by Elton John is actually Captain Fantastic and the Brown Deer Cowboy. Although most people, you know, the staple album for Elton is Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. But I like that one. Also, there's a ballad on there called Someone Save My Life Tonight. So the 70s Elton John, I just fell in love with the drumming of Nigel Olsson. Not just the ballads, but everything, but the ballads in particular made me want to play that way. So as I got into bands, as I got a little bit more mature in my playing and didn't try to play so many notes, I would try to channel what would Nigel Olsson do on this tune. And there was a band I was in the late 80s in Boise, Idaho called Redstone, and we put out a CD, and there was a couple of ballads in there, and I specifically channeled Nigel Olsson and Steve Smith combined to try to get these power ballads to have that kind of tension, to have that, do, type, creation, and lay back as much as possible to create a tension that you're just anticipating for that beat to drop, or that fill to not leave you hanging, and then just to bang, come in right on one. And the use of what I call fat flams, which are, spaced farther apart versus your normal flams, created tension. So Nigel Olsson, for anybody who doesn't know, go back and listen to Elton John, especially the 70s Elton John. And again, the specific tune that to me is just perfect is Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me. So becoming into those ballads led me being more into Steve Smith with Journey, and of course a lot of the power ballads that came out in the 80s with a lot of drummers and whatnot. But it actually, for me, it traces back to Nigel Olsson specifically, and some of those tunes like the Goodbye Yellow Brick Road and the Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me, Someone Save My Life Tonight vein. And there was a poster, and I think I saw David Hall, another high school drumming friend of mine. I think he's the one who had the poster on his wall. and I've seen it on. You can look it up, or whatever. It's a Zildjian ad, and Nigel Olsson has this double bass kit with a triangle of toms on each bass drum, and I just thought that was the coolest thing ever. And you know, I wish I had that picture. I'd put it on the wall. But anyway, so my thought is that sometimes for young drummers especially, it's good to listen to ballads and then see how little you can play. See how many notes you can put in a fill, how little or how few notes you can put into a fill and still make it mean something musically. And it's something that I didn't do it at first with my first band because I was just trying to put everything I could in there. But then later on I started learning, space is actually cool sometimes. The space between the notes, it doesn't have to have a lot of little ghost notes. It doesn't have to have all that. Certain things do, but not everything. So this thought today is just like, as Nate Morton posted, I love playing power ballads to this day. And even as when I got into country bands and a lot of that country ballads started coming out, I loved playing that stuff too. So anyway, there you go. My Thursday thought today is, part of what you need to do to become balanced is learn how to play slow ballads. In every form of music, not just rock, but the rock ones are what I'm specifically talking about now, and because of Nigel Olsson. So today's thought is the drumming of Nigel Olsson is magic to me. It's not technical, it's just perfectly done for the song, and there's little things he does now and then where there's no backbeat for a second, and then it comes right back in. It's just kind of cool. I don't know if it happened that way and they left it, he thought about it or whatever, but it's really cool that things like that happen. So listen to the ballads of the 70s of Nigel Olsson playing with Elton John, and it's not a bad thing to copy at all. It's a very good thing. So one of my drumming heroes, Nigel Olsson. Thanks.